situation is under control.
There's no way we could screw this up. Boy, that almost blew up in our...
Cam Proctor from Big Go Belt Media. Today we are here with Eric Bauza as well as Candi Milo, who star in The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie coming to theaters March 14th. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome.
You forgot to say Daffy and Porky. And don't forget, Petunia's here too.
All three of them are here right now. You know what? One of my friends was asking me too, like, oh, you have to ask them to do the voice. And thank you for helping me out with having to ask for it. You simultaneously.
That is not a hard ask, Cameron. It would be like somebody going, which voice did you do?
Well, I did Petunia Pig, but I do a lot of other voices too.
It's like, this is ingrained in what we do. It's just like we just start talking like lunatics.
If you didn't have these voices, it would just be like NPR, and that's
and that's so crazy. And I always thought, that's one of my questions. Matter of fact, when you're doing these iconic characters, in shows as well as movies, do you ever kind of have to think like, oh man, I forgot how to do the voice, or is it just simultaneously like embedded in your brain automatically?
Embedded in my brain. And one of the things we were telling somebody earlier, which was that we become these actual characters, and for me, they're a part of me. So they live in like a section. It's almost like I access a section of my brain whenever I see that dialogue. And when I read to the page, I am reading in character, but the page is the person I'm talking to. And I am having a full-blown conversation. So I'm not acting and I'm not reading. I'm having a conversation in English that I'm reading to the page, which is the other character. And the microphone is just in the way of that. And I really do think I don't ever have any problem accessing and becoming the character because it's really a part of me.
My secret is that I'm Filipino and I've eaten both pork and duck, sometimes over white rice with soy sauce. It's delicious.
That's my training.
There you go. All right. A little bit of lumpia in there as well. Pancit.
Yeah.
Probably helps as well. Gotta love it, man. Look. I know. Okay, there you go. Matter of fact, yeah. So speaking of, I guess your heritage and you guys' backgrounds, if you had to pick a food for your character to actually try, what would it be? And I'll start with you, Candi.
Oh my gosh.
Well, here's what I would say. I think that I like to play it safe in my hygienic eating, but since I'm after all kinds of flavors and I start with rotten eggs, I think that I could pretty much eat absolutely anything except an insect. That would be something that I would have to try. Probably be pretty hammered beginning, but I could not eat an insect, sorry.
Or at least be a contestant on Fear Factor. As Daffy Duck, I'd like to say, having a duck bill, corn on the cob is easy. Take it from my friend Woody Woodpecker. We us birds love to use this duck bill as a tool for eating. And Porky loves sushi. That's what I like. Yeah. It's just fun to order. That's all.
I have fun with it too. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I think I'm just more mesmerized that you guys can turn it on and off so quickly.
We're unwell.
And it
we like to call this little reasons we live alone. This is what.
There you go. All right. And it doesn't, and it kind of like, it throws me off a bit, but at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, like, wow, that's amazing that you can just turn it on like that whenever you want. And I guess my next question goes into, I guess, your recording process, right? And I mean, like you said, you do it basically in a regular conversation, but how has recording changed since you guys have been doing this for such a long time over the past years? Of course, I think I saw an interview with Eric and he was talking about how COVID changed things and he was recording in his closet. And he was saying that if you hear the lawnmower or you hear a baby crying, then he'll give the people their money back, right? So
the Eric Bauza guarantee.
Right. So for example, like, how does it change for you guys? Are you still doing things at home, or are you still going into the studio now and doing it?
I do. I mean, I did all of Space Jam 2, A New Legacy, in a closet. And the first time I got all dolled up, but it was the summer, and I live in the San Fernando Valley of California, and it was like 112 degrees, and
God.
my closet is no bigger than my arm width apart. And by 25 minutes later, I was melting. The second session I did, I was only dressed from the waist up. I didn't have any makeup on. I had my hair up in a ponytail, and I kept saying, I have 30 seconds left before I have to open up the door to this closet. And I built it all. Eric and I both were auditioning for that. And then we had lockdown. It was January 2020, and we had lockdown, and I went and got all the equipment and had an engineer help me put it all up. And I'm sneaking back into the studio, but a lot of the producers and directors I work with are no longer in California. So 90% of it for me is on Zoom.
Wow,
Still,
okay.
I'll go into a studio, I'll go into Warner Brothers, and everybody's in another state or another city. And so I'm not, I know Eric has a different situation, but I haven't been in a group record yet.
Wow. Wow.
I had an opportunity to do a group session almost only a few days ago over at Warner Brothers, and it was nice and kind of weird how little time, if you think about it in the grand scale of things, how just a few short years is enough to really change your mentality and kind of just your. We used to spend hours in this booth, even if you had one line of dialogue at the beginning of the script and then 4 lines at the end. They still made you wait from 9 to 1 or 2 to 6 in case they needed walla or group reactions or screams from ancillary characters. Now it's like, okay, let's get you in and out in 15 minutes, and then you get to sign off, you know?
Wow.
But I hope for the new generation of voiceover artists, they do get to experience the ensemble session.
Oh my God, there's nothing better than that. It's like it's like stand-up comedy. It's like a nightclub without the alcohol. Honest to God, you're laughing. You're sitting there like, oh my God, laughing so hard, and know, Cameron, that's the goal, is to get your castmates to crack up so that we get to do it again and stay longer. But
Right.
truly a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And kind of talking about the new generation, I actually, when I was watching this show, like at first, I didn't know what to expect, right? In my head, I'm thinking like, okay, kids cartoon, and I'm watching it, and I'm relating to this cartoon so much as an adult, as well as I would as a kid too. I mean, there's so many jokes in there. You hear like, stimulus checks. You hear like, I just met you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, the best line.
Oh my gosh, so funny. And I'm like, wow, like maybe, as a kid, I wasn't really understanding so many jokes that Looney Tunes was throwing at me. And now I'm like, oh man, I need to go back and revisit a lot of this stuff that I missed out on. Do you feel like that as you are older now, and now you're going back and watching these classics?
Oh yeah, and I think Warner Brothers has always been kind of edgy, because remember, Cartoon Network came out of Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers acquired Hanna-Barbera, like Turner, and then Turner. It was like, those were, I mean, the Flintstones, if you go back and watch that, there's some things in there that you couldn't believe. But I do remember my dad sitting down with us on a Saturday morning, and he would have his coffee and then laugh so hard. And my sister and I, and my other brothers and sisters, we were all just feral animals. My sister and I would look at each other and wonder what he was laughing at, because we didn't catch what it was. And I think that's what the day the Earth blew up was like. Definitely. It's for everybody. It really is.
It's definitely a thing that you'll need to watch at least a second time to try to see if you missed something, or something caught your attention and just flew by, because there are moments like that all over the movie.
Yeah.
And there was a second watching. We saw it on the lot at Warner Brothers, and I had shoes on and I didn't have socks. And when I walked, my feet were squishing. You could hear. And then in the movie, you heard Petunia Pig's thing, and my daughter, who's an adult, grabs my arm and squeezes it, and we start laughing, and nobody around us knew why we were laughing. But her feet were squeaking when she walked. It sounded exactly like my shoes. And I think I need to watch it again to see what else I missed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out again. I am super excited for everybody at home to see this as well. Eric, shout out to you. Happy belated birthday to your son who just turned 9, by the way. Throw that out there. And everybody at home, make sure you check out The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie coming to theaters March 14th. Eric and Candy, thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome, Cameron.
Really
How
appreciate
lovely you are. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.